It started with a problem no army could afford to ignore: bullets flying, ammo boxes splitting open, and soldiers cursing under their breath because water was seeping into their precious rounds. In the middle of a world war, a single soggy bullet could mean the difference between life and death. But from that frustration came an invention so simple, so brilliantly sticky, that it not only saved supplies but also went on to fix everything from broken rifles to leaky roofs. This is the story of duct tape. Yes, duck with a K. The rugged gray miracle that stuck the world together, starting on the battlefields of World War II. The story begins not in a lab or a general's office, but with a factory worker and mother named Vesta Stoudt in Illinois. She worked in an ordnance plant sealing ammunition boxes, where she noticed that the paper tape used to close them was weak and slow to open under fire. Soldiers in the field struggled to rip it off fast enough, often wasting precious seconds fumbling with knives or shells. So Vesta did what most people wouldn't. She wrote directly to President Franklin D. Roosevelt in 1943, describing the problem and her solution: a strong, waterproof cloth tape that could seal boxes tight but be torn open in seconds. Her letter cut through the noise. The War Production Board approved her idea and passed it on to Johnson & Johnson, who turned it into reality. That tape would soon become a legend: a gray, rubber-coated cloth tape that could stick to anything, repel water, and peel off with a fierce rip that echoed across the Pacific. Soldiers called it duct tape because it was made from cotton duck cloth and shed water like a duck's back. Once Johnson & Johnson's division, Permacell, began mass production, duct tape spread across the military like wildfire. Troops used it for everything: sealing ammunition cans, patching tents, repairing jeeps, even mending boots and weapons in the heat of battle. It wasn't just a roll of tape anymore. It became a lifeline. Mechanics used it to hold airplane parts in place temporarily, and medics found it could patch up torn gear faster than stitching. Engineers used it on ships, trucks, and even communication cables. The soldiers loved it because it was tough, waterproof, and instantly fixable. It became the quiet hero of logistics, unseen, unsung, but holding the machinery of war together when things fell apart. And like many great wartime inventions, it was built for survival, but destined for everyday life. When the war ended, factories that once churned out military supplies turned back to civilian production. Soldiers came home with a secret weapon in their duffel bags, rolls of the gray tape they'd come to rely on. Soon, American households discovered what the troops already knew: there was nothing this tape couldn't fix. Leaky pipes, cracked shoes, ripped furniture, broken toys. Duct tape became the universal problem solver. Its popularity exploded. It wasn't glamorous, but it was unstoppable. As post-war America modernized, so did duct tape. It became known as duct tape because homeowners started using it to seal air conditioning and heating ducts. The name stuck, but the origin, that war-born battlefield tape, remained its soul. Through the decades, duct tape evolved, but the DNA of that World War II design never disappeared. The core was still cloth-backed, flexible, and pressure-sensitive. By the 1950s, manufacturers began experimenting with colors, thickness, and new adhesives. NASA engineers even used a variant of duct tape on Apollo 13, famously crafting a carbon dioxide filter adapter that helped bring the astronauts home. The tape that once held ammo boxes shut now saved lives in outer space. From sealing tanks to patching spaceships, that's quite a resume. And through every generation, one truth remained: when the world breaks, someone reaches for that roll of gray tape. Beyond its utility, duct tape is a symbol, a reminder of how innovation often comes from the unlikeliest minds. A single letter from a determined mother changed military logistics and gave birth to one of the most enduring tools in modern life. It also captures something deeply human about wartime invention resourcefulness. In an era when everything was rationed, you couldn't always get new supplies. You had to fix what you had. Duct tape made that possible. It turned make do and mend into an art form, Fast, efficient, and tough as nails. Even today, that same spirit drives its popularity. Whether in garages, space missions, or survival kits, it remains a global icon of resilience and ingenuity. Today, the brand duct tape, yes, the original spelling came back, is a household name, embraced not just for repairs, but for creativity. People craft wallets, dresses, even art pieces from it. But behind every colorful roll lies that same gray soul forged in war. It's easy to forget how much of our modern convenience came from wartime necessity. The jet engine, penicillin, synthetic rubber, and yes, duct tape, all owe their existence to an era when innovation wasn't optional. Duct tape didn't just fix ammo boxes, it fixed problems, period. It bridged the gap between desperation and invention, between battlefields and backyards. It's the sound of a rip in the silence, the quick, confident shh rip that says, "I've got this." So, next time you grab a roll of duct tape to fix your car, your backpack, or your entire day, remember, it started with a mother, a war, and an idea that refused to come unstuck. Because in the chaos of World War II, one woman's sticky solution didn't just seal boxes, it sealed its place in history. If you love uncovering hidden stories like this, the small inventions that changed the course of war and the shape of our world, don't forget to subscribe to the Forgotten War Fronts and share this story with someone who loves history that sticks.